as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And how alike sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
You can't have that cookie, Elmo. Rocco wants to eat it.
I have tried to be your friend, but you will not listen to me. So you invited this monster to make me kill somebody.
Woo! While they sleep, we work. While they sleep, we work.
Good morning, come on in. Coffee's good, fresh and hot. There's a waffle in the baker, on the grill we're making bacon. You're always welcome back.
Charge!
There's a fire beneath my skin. There's a fever that makes me ill. Gotta love, a love that kills. I got 24 hours to live. Come back. I'm down on my knees. Come back. I'm begging you, please.
Am I unmuted now? Can you guys hear me now? What is up, everybody? It is great to see you. Welcome to the Waffle Lodge. I am all about the intros, as I'm sure you guys can tell. Let me double check and make sure that my mic setting is correct. Because yep, there you go. There you go. That should sound a little bit better, guys. One of the things that happens when I switch over from one stream to another is it'll often kick me off of this. Rob, get in here. If you're going to be online, just get in here. You can pop in for a couple of minutes. Phil, you can pop in for a couple of minutes too. The Australians had to kind of wrap up and go to bed because it's late there, and staying up that late is very, very difficult. But yeah, hopefully this sounds a little bit better here. But it's great to see you guys. My name is Jonathan Jetty. Thank you, everybody who came over for Michael's stream. If you have not checked out my comic book Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, it is a live campaign right now. It is in its in-demand funding period. So do go and check that out. And there is the link right there. The link is also in the description. Yeah, while they sleep, we work. Absolutely right, Comics Legend. Let me see who's here. Let me get all you guys up on here. Oh my God, there's a lot of people here. Hang on. All right, we've got Ray Storman here. We've got John here. We have got Stephen Rockwood here. We have Jordan here. We have Antoine here. We have SDA. It is great to see you, my friend. Maybe Human is here. Dan, what's up, my brother? It's good to see you. Jeremy Burtz, it's good to see you. Rob, the Replicator, my man in Amsterdam. It is good to see you. L.E. Munoz, I can't believe I struggled with that. That's depressing. What's up, Jeremy? It is good to see you. Let's see what else. Everybody's like, what? I remember that. Fixed. Say Comics. Phil, what is up? Jasper Plan 9. It is great to see you, my friend. Jason Black. It is, why do we need to tell them? Yeah, you don't need to tell us. It's great to see you. Let's see what else we've got. Lodge member number 11. That is right. It's dinner time here. Yeah, that's right. It's almost breakfast time here. Just give me a couple hours. Antoine Jasper Plan 9. It depends. I'm doing some graphic design for a campaign, and I need to clip a path. There you go. Oh, thank you again, Jeremy, for popping that in there. Let's see. What's up, SDA? Let's see who else we've got here. Hello, Sean Jasper Plan 9. Hello to you, my friend. Hail and hello. I've been experimenting with my process, penciling digitally and then outputting hard copies to Lightbox Ink. Yeah, guys, the options for us at this point are endless in terms of how we can do our work. And I'm exploring a lot of different ways of doing my stuff outside of this. But for those of you guys who were on the previous stream and watching what we were doing, I was working on, I wanted to add one more element to the piece I'm doing for Narwhal. Hey, what's up, Duarte? It's good to see you. Whenever I see, send work to somebody and someone's going to be, actually owning the original artwork, I always want to make sure it's something that they're going to like having in their house. And so I wanted to make sure that I added one more element to this, and it seemed right to put a vampire bat flying in there just for, to give it a little bit more aesthetic, richness there to it. And then my next plan is for my next trick, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be working on this piece, which is one of Rob the Replicator's pieces right there. So there you go. Let's see here. Yeah, Nosferatu by Narwhal. There you have it. Gosh, Jeremy, you are quick on the draw, brother. And there you go. SDA says, oops. Yeah, Lucent Painted Death sign up, guys. The link is in the description. If you've not signed up for that yet, please do. But I wanted to talk about, I wanted to do some artwork and do a little bit of a stream since you guys were so patient waiting for it. And I want to make sure that I have a Waffle Lodge stream up from this weekend. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of work. I've been coming up with, I spent the entire day working and painting on Nosfero, the Crypt Walker. I wanted to adjust an action scene a little bit more to make it have some intensity to it. And then I'm kind of figuring out the world of Nosfero. I'm not figuring it out, but trying to remember what the aesthetics are I wanted to do. So I talk a lot about Hammer horror films, and I talk a lot about, those being an influence to me. And I grabbed a couple of screen caps right here, or screenshots, and I wanted to share them with you so you guys could understand some of what the influences are. So this is from a movie called Twins of Evil. Let's see if I can make this happen here. And these are screen grabs from it. And these are the great old, yeah, there you go, Jasper Plan 9. I love Hammer horror films. I cannot overstate how much I enjoy them. So I'm going to see if I can share this up on here. And then let's see, here we go. Add to stream. So this right here, what you're seeing right here, let me hide this sidebar because, it should be full screen. This right here, this kind of cobwebs, torches going through stony underground secret passages, that's the kind of stuff. Yeah, more flesh, more blood. Well, I can take care of both of those. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And look at like a shot like this. The characters have already walked off into the distance. So you're seeing their silhouettes, but look at this beautiful low shot, all of the cobwebs, the stone, the rats in the foreground. I mean, this is the stuff, the mist, the ground fog, and the little entrance to the crypt, which is going to be a big influence for the crypt that Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, kind of has his lair in. And then here's another. Look at how insane the colors are. There's green lighting, there's blue-purple lighting, then there's orange. The skulls, all of the great skulls and skeletons that are in there. That's the stuff that I really want to reference when I'm doing Nosfero. This kind of really cool, creepy, haunted aesthetic. And so one of the things that I'm kind of committed to doing right now is, reminding myself, going back, watching those films and reminding myself what I'm going for. Yeah, the Gorgon is a great, and unfortunately too, right? I wish that had done better at the box office. I believe it was one of the big last films directed by a master. But if you like Hammer horror films and you've not backed Nosfero the Crypt Walker yet, you're going to want to do so, because that movie, outside of, the kind of action and painted watercolor, gouache stuff that I'm doing, you've got that kind of epic scale Hammer horror work and all of the stone work and all of that stuff that we love for Hammer horror. You've got these characters right here. Here's another action scene. It's like, here's the Lovecraft element of a creature coming through, giant creature coming through a doorway. Let me see, where are the other Hammer influences? There are so many, a little bit of so many. That's funny. There's so many, and totally influenced by, Frank Frazetta, one of my big influences, and his Conan stuff. And then just the hand painted beauty of the Hammer beauties. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing on this campaign, and a lot of the stuff that, let me see if I can find it. Here's a little bit of, see if I can find this one. Dang, I have a lot of art here, guys. I know you guys know this, but this is the cover image, and this kind of sums up a lot of my influences. Nosfero, do you mean this one? This one will be, because Narwhal's got a Nosferatu campaign going. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's one of those things to where when I'm looking at this stuff and I'm looking at, like, how do I want to put this stuff together? My whole attitude is, God, I got to move that light. It's causing a flash there. Can't stand when the camera has trouble like that. Hang on, see if I can, will that help it or make it worse? That's just killing the colors. But one of the things about this stuff is that I'm always going for that hammer horror. That nightgown is straight. Okay, yeah. It's going to be printed on more of a semi-gloss kind of paper, but it's not gloss. It's not. It's more like a matte. Do I have one of my other art books here? So this is my third Indiegogo campaign, and I have done 2 others, and those were my first 2 art books. I'll probably do an art book in there as well, another art book, but the cover is gloss. So here's a look at what the covers. Let me zoom out for a second here. You guys can see my messy, crazy desk here. So the cover in this case is a gloss finish, square bound, but the interior stuff is more of a matte semi-gloss. So if you're looking at it straight on, it's, it really captures the detail, but it also prevents, getting too many fingerprints and things on it. But this is what those books look like. And this is where, hang on. This is where I'm going to go with it in terms of printing, most likely. Unless somebody makes a really good case, a printer makes an exceptional case for color repro, doing it another way. This is, let me see if I can get that to not have that light happening. I got to get a better lighting setup, guys. There we go. That's a little better. But this is what the art books look like, and this is what the heavy paper stock looks like on these. So let's see if I can find. There's another example of what the stuff looks like. And there you go. And so, yeah, I mean, this book is about my love of Hammer horror. This is about my love of Frank Frazetta, my love of comics, to be sure. And that's the thing about it that I love so much is I get to go completely insane on werewolves and all of the stuff I like. This is actually Nosfero's mentor and father figure, and everybody has seen this piece. I can't show the whole thing because once you get below there, it could get me struck. But this is what it's about for me. It's the cross between take everything that's great about the Universal Monster makeup by Jack Pierce and his creature designs, mix that with Frank Frazetta, and then the sort of sexiness of Hammer horror, and you've got my aesthetic. Yeah, that's right. It's all about that booty. Absolutely right. And so, yeah, so that's been the biggest part of what I've been doing, is making sure that I get that quality, of the bats and the creatures and all of that kind of stuff. And of course, a little bit of that all important sexiness, which has got to be there when you're doing this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Let me get some of these on screen here. Dude, I can't get over how great and detailed your pencils are. Don't paint over that. Which one? Which pencils? Let's see here. Will Nosferatu be on matte paper? We want to talk about that one. Have a time. Absolutely, Jeremy Burtz. Yeah, I think I would prefer to see this art on matte stock. Yeah, I'm going to see what happens with that. But I mean, I'm open to it. I've been looking at, that for a little while. So maybe I'll do some tests, SDA is here. What is up, SDA? Jasper Plan 9. The quality will level up if it's reproduced paintings, art on matte paper, possibly off-white. Yeah, that's a possibility. It really depends on the pre-press and how the color goes on that. Looks great. How much more is left to finish? I've got half of it left to go, and right on schedule, and thank God. And yeah, I'm going to be cutting a new trailer and posting more stuff online soon, and that is the plan. That is the plan. So let me see here. What else have I got here? History. Just want to check something really cool quickly here and see if it's work. Good. All right. I'm just checking to see if what the stream quality is like, because you never know. What is up, SDA? It's great to see you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's the whole thing about this is the whole thing about Comicsgate, and one of the things I love the most about it is that not only people back in the book and shouting out their backer numbers and all that stuff, which is great, but also the fact that we're able to do work and make projects that are so so different and so interesting, and then there's an audience for all of it. And so when I'm working on this, this project, the big thing for me is, I want to make sure that it feels like if you love Halloween, if you love monsters, if you love, anything that goes bump in the night, but you also like, sexy women, Frank Frazetta fantasy stuff, this is the book for you. I want you to just sort of sit back, sink into this book, and have a great experience and a great time with it. And that's really what it is for me. It's kind of a, Nosfero is a supernatural hero, and he deals with supernatural things, but he's got this kind of, in a lot of ways, he's got a kind of imposing quality as a character. Is my goal. He can stand toe to toe with Count Dracula. Let's see here. You should consider doing. Oh yeah, there is, guys. If depending on how this book does, there will definitely be a non-lettered artist edition of this book for sure. I don't know. Like I said, it's got to be doable. But I know that we're looking at all of that stuff. I might even do. We'll see. I'm going to see where it goes. But yes, that has been said by so many people, because a lot of people just want to be able to, look at the artwork and see, the artwork as well as with the work, with the story on there. So yeah, well said and well put and well taken. It's a fun thing, guys. I mean, you guys are making it possible for us to do this. For all of us to do this stuff and all of us to make our artwork. So that's the coolest part about it. And, I'm aware that, given the track record and the experience with the previous two art books, that people love to see, the paintings and will back the paintings on their own. And so, yeah, the story will hopefully add, more to it. But also I get that, I have the Dave Stevens artist edition. So I'm someone who loves the artwork and seeing it without colors and seeing it how it was drawn. So I completely understand that. So let's see what else we've got here. All right, guys, see if I'm caught up on everything in the chat here. But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming. Lots of cool stuff coming on this campaign. That's for sure. I'm going to be doing some more work on it, and my goal for this week is to get the new trailer cut. I had a trailer commission, which was the one I did for Gabe that you guys just saw at the start of the show. And then I wanted to make sure I got, was happy with and got the Nosferatu piece for Narwhal's campaign to something that I was happy with. And so now that stuff's taken care of, it's going to be a lot of Nosfero happening. And that is the goal. A lot of Nosfero and a lot of Waffle Lodge. That's what it's about. So how's everybody doing in the chat? Let me know what is up. Booty. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Oh, yeah, Comics Legend. That is the whole joy of this stuff. I'm glad you guys do love supporting passionate creators, because we are passionate, and this stuff, this stuff is made for you. Whenever I see a lot of the work and a lot of things that are going on out there with pop culture, I'm incredibly grateful that people are doing such a good job of making, work that alienates the mainstream fan base, because it gives us the opportunity to go in and just tell stories that are good and entertaining and interesting. And this comic book that I'm doing for Nosfero is going to be like falling into a world. Like, I am designing sets, I am building all of these things, and oh, cool. Let me see here. Yeah, the Lost Pages silhouette from Zaid Comics, absolutely shipping soon. And man, is that looking good too, by the way. Hail Phil, wherever you are. I don't know if he's still here hanging out in the chat. But yeah, I mean, for me, the thing that I love about the idea of making comics and making books is that it's just something that you can sort of, when you come home and you're like, all right, I'm tired. I want to make some, I want to look at something that makes me feel good or feel positive about things. That's what a great comic or a great art book does. And that's what they do for me. So that's what Nosfero is going to be. And I think it's going to just be a blast for you guys to check out. But I'm creating like a lot of different landscapes and things like that. Hey, what's up, John? Good to see you, man. Let me see here. And yeah, damn, this dude, it's like a madman and no mistakes. I make plenty of mistakes, man. I just have to kind of, I just keep painting, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents, right? That's the goal. Oh, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much, man. It's one of those things that, and I can't overstate how much I appreciate it when you guys back the book. Nosfero is is me being able to create, much like the first 2 Indiegogo art books I did. It's me being able to create with no, roadblocks. And the fact that I can just kind of, shoot the shit for, things like that, is cool. And because John pops in the chat, guys, I'll play that. Forgive me, John. So for everybody who doesn't know, at the start of my show, I play just fun, recut or shortened trailers. And so I played this the other night when Jose Garcia was in the stream, and it feels important to play it now. Apologies to John Malin. This is not official. This is just a fan thing. So here you go. And there you go, kids. And if I'm not mistaken, the link to Graveyard Shift should be in the description for this video. So go check it out and back it if you have not yet. But so, yeah, this character right here that I'm working on is a character called Goliath from the Replicator. And if you haven't seen it, oh, great. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. I just finished doing an edit for my brother from another mother, Gabe El Taib's amazing book, Truth, Justice, American Way as well. So if you haven't checked that out, the link for that's in the description. The link for Narwhal's book is in the description. And of course, the link for my book, Nosfero, is in the description. But it's really about getting cool stuff out there. And when I saw Jose Garcia's stuff, the thing about it that I really like, and Tiger Blue, I got to get Tiger Blue on here too as well. And our boy Matt's amazing book, and Jose Garcia is doing work for it. But the thing I love about Comicsgate and the thing I love about doing this stuff is I'm not going to do any illustrations or work of quote unquote mainstream corporate characters until, forever. Like, that's pretty much where I'm at. Unless someone pays me an absurd, like, seriously, if someone comes up to me and goes, I'll pay $1 million to do a little sketch of Superman, I'll think about it. But what I love about this is painting characters like Goliath, painting characters like Rob Arnold's character, painting characters like the Lucent, even ARO. That's the fun stuff. Gosh, Dan Frega's character, really enjoyed painting that character. So whenever I'm taking a break from working on Nosfero, the thing that I most enjoy doing, is doing sketches to kind of, wind down when my hand and my eyes get a little less steady at the end of the evening, is doing, illustrations of other characters, because I think these characters can be just as big in everything that the mainstream characters are. And in many cases, can be what the mainstream characters can't be. They aren't allowed to be from a creative standpoint, if you guys know what I mean. And I look at it, and I look at Goliath, and I look at all the characters that, Rob's doing in the Replicator, and it's a straight up action story with really cool creatures. For me, and I don't know if Rob thought of this consciously, but we've talked about it, it's got a little bit of a Warhammer 40K vibe to it, which I used to love that artwork when I was a kid. Couldn't play it, and for heaven's sake, I will tell you this, I could not paint those miniatures, man. I did not have the hand control. But I love the idea of us creating things new from the ground up, because I'm one of those people that came up in the Image generation of not just Image comics. I was a late 80s, comic fan as well. But the idea that you could go out and make books that compete with the mainstream is not something that's alien to, my way of thinking. And in fact, I see it as a real obligation and a challenge for us. And so when you guys back these books, and I didn't even put that on screen. Hang on a second here. Where are you? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Let me get that on screen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for backing the book. It is so appreciated, man. It is so appreciated. And so when I'm looking at this kind of stuff and I'm trying to figure out, all right, well, what am I going to do? You know, how am I going to put this stuff together, and how am I going to make, you know, the work be what it's, you know, capable of being? I'm thinking about my fellow creators. I'm thinking about my fellow comic skaters, and I'm saying, all right, well, here's what we need to do. Like, I need to do more artwork when I'm not drawing Nosfero. I need to be doing artwork of campaigns, creators, and characters that I have an idea for. And I asked Rob Arnold when I was on a stream with him, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was on Bancroft's channel, that if I was to illustrate one of your characters, who would you like to see me illustrate? And Rob said he liked my monster stuff, and I like painting monsters. I love it. And he said so he'd like to see me do a painting of Goliath. And so I just got the books in the mail. I just got, I guess it was last week, I got my Replicator book, so it was perfect timing. And so that's the stuff I've been working on. Let me know if you have any questions too in the chat as well. Maybe human. Sean the Jetty Art. As skilled as you are, can you paint realistic eyebrows on John Malin? If he'd hold still, I think I would have to. I think I would have to win a Turkish wrestling match with him, but I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose I could if I could just hook him. Then I'd be good to go. So that's the best answer I have, right? Let's see here. Yes, in the Replicator. Mutants versus Machines by Rob Arnold. What's not to like in that sentence right there? Mutants versus Machines. Come on, let's have it. But yeah, I mean, it's the more I look at this kind of work. And by the way, for people who don't know, and I don't know if Phil is still here with us, he may be asleep. It's late there. This is a painting I did, an acrylic painting I did of his character, the Masquerade, who I also love. So for me, it's like, you know, have paints, will paint CG. That's basically how it works. And I love that stuff. Yeah, maybe human knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, hey, listen, sometimes stuff gets real. Sometimes in Comicsgate stuff gets real. But if I can do, you know, if I can do work that gets any person to say, oh, that character's cool, I want to go check out that CG book, then I've done my job. And when I'm doing my own artwork on stream, if I can get someone to say, and by the way, again, thank you. It is all, guys, there is not a single backer on my book who is not appreciated greatly. It all adds to making this possible. My wife, one of the first things she ever does in the morning before she heads out and I go to my desk is she goes, I just looked at the campaign. We got another backer. So yeah, it's a big part of our lives. And we love it. Antoine Descent, nice. Yeah, absolutely, man. And thank you, brother, for being here. I appreciate it. You know, it's like you always have really good insights in the chat about things like paper stock and what you're looking for in products. And I always appreciate it. And it does go into my mind. I mean, whatever stream I'm on, you know, whenever you're giving your thoughts, I'm always thinking to myself, yeah, that's a good point. And I like that. I like having people who, you know, who have a take on it. Have you ever painted over someone else's pencils? I haven't, but I could. Absolutely could. Teflon Ron, good morning, chat. Hail, Sean. I'm hoping to see the Shanu by Nolan. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you know, let's see. I love Graham Nolan. You know, I came close to painting a Graham Nolan character. It was a character from Alien Alamo book I also got. And that is the character that looks like they're based off of Sam Elliott. And I was thinking that would be cool to do, like using Sam Elliott reference to paint a realistic Western painting. Let's see here. So you'll be painting my characters. Great. Looking forward to it. You never know, Antoine. You never know. It's possible. It happens, you know. And honestly, it's so funny too, because if I can get a way into a character, then I can that's really what it is. One of the hardest characters for me to paint was Ella from the Lucent, because there's a way that Michael draws Ella that you know, that Rod's actually doing a good job with as well, which is that I really, really like. But I'll show you. Hang on a second, Antoine. I want to show you this because I want to show you what I'm talking about, because you'll get this. And I'm assuming, Antoine, did you get Alien Alamo? Let me know in the chat by the time I get back here. Here we go. Let's see if I can grab this. Here we go. Art time. Antoine Desson, that's very kind of you, Sean. I worked in publishing for years. Jasper has too, I believe. Oh, very cool, very cool. Yeah, hey guys, the inside of the pros and people's experience is what makes us a great thing. I love Alien Alamo. Looking forward to the next CG book that might top it. Yeah, So this right here, guys, this right here is when I was thinking about painting a character from Alien Alamo. I'm a big fan of James Bama's work. I don't know if you guys know his stuff. Some of you guys probably do. Okay, cool. So yeah, you didn't get Alien Alamo. So, but this is the thing. I wanted to do. I think it's in here. It's one of my absolute favorite paintings of all time. It's horrifying that he's got this level of skill, but there you go. I wanted to do a really crazy detailed painting of one of the Alien Alamo characters. This is a painting by James Bama. If you don't know his stuff, he's a legend. He's incredible. It's so, I mean, gosh, I love this guy's stuff. And so, yeah, I sometimes think about how fun it would be to paint a character portrait. And let me move my desk back here and try not to knock everything over. There we go. But I love Westerns. So I'm excited about Wraith of God. I think Aaron Lopresti's stuff is great. That's a character that I could see myself doing. But the biggest trick is, that is James Bama is one of those artists who is just next level. He did all those famous Doc Savage covers. And that was a painting. That is the best way I could think of putting it, as you look at it and you go, that's a painting. And that for me is when I'm doing Western stuff. That's what I love to do. I'd probably do it in acrylic. That must have taken a while. Yeah, he's amazing, guys. Yeah, I imagine it took him a while. Punished Fabio. I love that icon. That's so great, man. Let me see here. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, art time. Always art time here, man. Always art time here. It's 4 a.m. People are waking up and getting ready. Yeah. Ooh, Doc Savage. His Doc Savage stuff is sick. It is really, really, really good. Jasper Play Night. I've seen it, but I haven't bought it. There you go. Yeah, I'm a big fan of detail when it just gets to ever, richer views of characters. And that's the thing that I really like. That's the thing that I really am drawn to. And so I don't know yet the direction that this thing is going to go in, this painting. But one of the things that I am considering doing is doing a doing a character portrait as well with this. And I was watching there's a tank movie on YouTube called T-34, and it's got some really great work done in a software program that my son uses called Blender. And it goes into some really cool detailed stuff of tanks and armor and all that stuff. Warhammer 40K, it's all feeding into this painting right now. And that's kind of the cool part for me when I'm doing something like this, is kind of figuring out like, oh, okay, like what's the let me see if I can get here. What's the angle I'm going to be approaching this character from? And so sometimes you'll see me doing a lot of stuff, shape stuff and form stuff that's not so much anatomical as it is structural. Like I did these kind of noodly lines to just kind of build up this almost geometric quality to this character. And I like tech as a subject, even though I don't paint it very often. And I don't know how fulfilling or how that would work for me if I was doing it in a comic. But for covers and things like that, for right now, and doing it for pinups and stuff like that, I actually really find it enjoyable and very meditative too. My favorite tech guy in terms of American comics is still probably Travis Charest. I love that guy's stuff. He's amazing. Let's see here. What else? Oh, sorry, let me pull my glasses up here. Let's see what I miss here. I've seen it, but I haven't bought it. Okay, here we go. Do you paint in gouache or acrylic paint? Doesn't acrylic paint dry fast? I paint in both. But this is gouache right here. This is gouache watercolor. When I paint in acrylic, it's funny. I haven't gotten to a point where I enjoy painting comics in acrylic, but I am so fast with acrylics. I can paint a large acrylic painting really quick. So that's the biggest factor for me. And I do love working with acrylics, but if you use heavy body acrylics and you use water and adjust the viscosity of it, it doesn't dry nearly as fast as it used to. And I always tell people that if you went to college, if you're like my age, and even if you didn't go to college, if you're my age and you used acrylics when you were in high school or when you were a teenager, it's not the same paint at all. The technology in acrylics has gotten so sophisticated that they do things with opacity that really makes them almost like a fast drying gouache. It used to take so many coats of acrylic to really get a good solid base and a good color richness. And now you can get, with heavy body acrylics, you can get paints that just will coat really, really thoroughly and really well. So yeah, acrylics are a whole new ball game, and the same thing goes with what I'm doing, which is kind of a cross between opaque watercolors and gouache here. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Anything else? All right, cool. But yeah, I love this stuff, and I love showing people the process of working, because I think that people find it, something a little bit different and something relaxing. Let me zoom in on this so you guys can see it here. Let's see if I can break the camera here. There you go. That's also the sound of my my shoulder probably right now. Let's move this. Come on, turn that off. Move my hand. Let it focus for a sec. It's not as good as I'd hope. Move the light. There we go. That's a little better. So you guys can see what I'm doing here, because it is a little bit detailed, the work that I'm doing right in here in that rib cage area. But I've got a sketch for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet. This is the sketch that I did for this piece on a previous stream. So this is like a thumbnail sketch. So there's my hand. So that's the overall look of what I'm trying to do for this piece. And so I've got a little bit of a plan for like painting some tanks that have been knocked over in here and been blown up. All that stuff is going to be a part of the process. And so, yeah, that's the fun stuff. That's what we live for. Let me adjust this light so I can get the sketch with some lighting on it there. There we go. All right, let me see here. We have got, I used to do acrylics in high school, made some amazing paintings, but haven't done it since. Yeah, it's always a good time. I might do some acrylics on a stream at some point, but it's always a good time to pick that stuff up every now and again. It's just, I always say that the paints have changed so much. I would use heavy body if you haven't yet. What's up, Meg's Doodles? I found I enjoy using them when they're really diluted with glazing medium. There you go. I think it gives depth to a piece. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. You can Maxfield Parrish it. Jasper Plan 9. I'm heading out later, chat. Thanks, Sean. Thank you, Jasper Plan 9. Thank you for everything you do. I appreciate seeing you in the chat, my friend. Hope to see you again soon. Take care and sleep well. All right. So, yeah, when I'm looking at this kind of stuff and I'm looking at this kind of work, that's the thing that I'm most, focused on. I'm most focused on trying to build that sense of structure. And a character like this, if there's an artist hero of mine that I think about whenever I'm painting a character like this, it's Jean Giraud Mobius, who was one of my big art inspirations when I saw his stuff in college. And he influences a lot of the stuff I do, particularly his concept art for movies like Willow and some of his Marvel posters that he did of like Iron Man and Spider-Man and Wolverine. They were really wild. They were really weird, and they were kind of out there. But I loved the fact that Mobius could always do something. He's done some artwork for Halo. There's nothing that dude, he passed away a couple of years ago, but there's nothing he wouldn't tackle. There was no subject he wouldn't, do if he was commissioned to do it. And so when I'm looking at characters I want to paint, if I get something that's mechanical, I always want to give it that kind of, Mobius, Travis Charest quality to it. I love Travis's stuff. He's just brilliant. I love my favorite book of Travis's was Wildcats X-Men Golden Age. If you haven't seen it, it is sick. Has everyone in the chat? Here's a question I have. Has everyone in the chat seen Travis Charest's X-Men Wildcats Golden Age, out of curiosity? Let's see if I can find. Let me see here. I love how it says not secure. Yeah, that's not comforting. There we go. Let's see if I can find this here. God, there's not a lot of it here. It's kind of shocking. You'd think there'd be like hundreds of pages of it. But Eric Weathers was talking about doing some. Okay, don't think I have seen it. We've got some people. It's the best Wolverine ever. I would agree with that. No, not me. Yes, says Duarte. This guy really needs. This guy is really good at painting. Most people have gone digital by now. Do you mean? Are you talking about James Bama? I don't think I have. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's do this here. Let me see if I can share this window here. Share. God, I am ancient. I just love. I'm moving at the speed of stop here. Travis Sherris art, Travis Sherray art. Okay, StreamYard, and then I'm gonna share this. Yo, what's up, RB? Gosh, it's got to be late there, man. It's good to see you, my friend. And yeah, I know you've seen it because you and I were geeking out over this in college. You know, Sheray's working with Mark Millar on a project currently, and The Golden Age is one of my favorite books. Antoine, you and I, you get it, man. You get it. 16 panel page is just, yes, there's a 16 panel page. I know the one, if that's the one with the car. Yeah, the Connect covers by Travis Sherray. Oh, I'll get to those. I should show those actually. So for those of you guys who don't know this stuff, this is Travis Sherray's X-Men Wildcats Golden Age, and it was really beautiful tonal stuff. That's some of his other work he did. This was an unused version of that grayscale stuff that was for for Dark Age, which they didn't have him do. And then the other stuff he did, God, he is a beast. Oh, here it is. I got it. RB, I got it. These are the Connected covers where he first experimented with painting. And these are absolutely cool. I remember this one was one of my favorites. His use of value and tone and color. So good. This one's great. This one's really good. This was Wildcore #1. But they all connected into a massive poster. All of those little pillars and things connected into a massive poster. So I love these. They're just really, really great. And then let me see here. Let me scroll down because I want to show, if I can, yeah, his Meta Baron stuff, which is beautiful. He didn't finish this book, but he did a huge bit of it. And the thing about this stuff is he actually has the black and whites and the colors up on his webpage. And I think it was John Malin who said if Travis did a 20-page book, he'd pay $100 for it. I'm the same way. If he did a 20-page book and it was just 20 pages, I would pay $100 to back that book. I mean, he has just got, no pun intended, godlike level skill. Whew. Just a stunner. His stuff is so detailed and but rich. I mean, his value control is breathtaking. Look at that. Look at that shift as this book went on, man. He really got some beautiful stuff there. But I'm really influenced by Travis a lot in some of the stuff I do. I mean, his stuff is amazing. Look at that double page spread. My goodness. That is sick. Love that creature too. I don't know why I'm showing Travis's stuff on a stream where I'm showing my stuff. That's kind of a letdown. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Love Travis. He does brilliant, brilliant work. And yeah, check it out. Let's see what else I've got here. The Connected covers of Travis are incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Ellie is saying, it's a current book. I was like a Wolverine Golden Age book. I didn't think that was possible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The underwater scene was Wildcats 1. You're absolutely right. Love that one. I vaguely recall Sherray was using watercolor pencils for those Wildstorm colors. Yeah, those are beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. You're so right. Maybe Human. Did you ever pick up Sylvain Disparet's art book? I didn't. Oh, Study Under Mobius. I bet it's beautiful. That lobster creature with the oozing, blood reminds me of your stuff. Yeah, that stuff I love. Absolutely love. Teflon Ron, didn't he do Nazi vampire comic too? Who are we talking about? Are we talking about Travis? Because if he did, I'd want to see that, man. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff, man. I love that kind of crazy cool mixing of genres. But Wildcats X-Men Golden Age, if I had a wish, it would be that they release an artist edition of that. I would love to see those. Love to see that stuff, man. It is beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Yep, thumbs up. And yeah, Travis did one. Oh my gosh. What is Travis is, I have thanks to RB in the chat. RB picked up for me the cloth bound Travis Sherray Space Girl. So I have that one over there and he signed it to me. So RB had Travis sign it to me back. I think it was back in the days when WonderCon was still in SF, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's RB's good people. Everybody say hello to RB. RB was one of my groomsmen at my wedding. We love RB. We love RB in the chat, man. Hail RB. He's a good dude. So let me see here. So I'm trying to get the let me see here. How's your father? Dish on your crazy art school coworkers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. That's how you got to do it, man. That's how you got to do it. Look at all this trouble, man. How's your father? My God, that takes me back. Takes me back to the Austin Powers days, at least in my case. And actually, I want to take a look at this real quick because I did something here in my sketch that I want to try to recreate, which was a little bit of, okay, just making sure I was painting on frame, a little bit of a line that comes over like that and then comes up into that space. And then I did this sort of kind of curved locking bit that comes into here. And there's something about it I don't know, it's weird. Like oftentimes when I'm working with watercolor and gouache, the thing that I enjoy about it is that that I can see, sometimes I see little forms that sort of come out in the painting process, and I kind of go, okay, well that's something I want to hold on to. It's a lot about selection. I you just kind of, after a while, it's hard to describe. Like, there's this back and forth. I'm sure it's the same thing in digital as everything else, but you just kind of, you move things around and you start to kind of build it up. And I know that, that it just, it's all in the selection. I know which ones to grab that'll make it work for me. And that's the fun thing. Let's see here. Artists like Travis, Shrey Jackson. Oh yeah. Butch Geist, man. Butch Geist did the Deathlock comic that just blew me away. I loved that stuff. There was this sort of prestige format book he did. Always felt like to me the characters were moving in slow-mo. You're absolutely right. I'm sure that's worth a ton. Should have kept it for myself. Yeah, I mean, it's really expensive. You didn't get one? You got one. You got one of those. You better have. Everybody's saying hi, RB. Hello, SDA. Everybody's saying hello, hello. Sylvain is one of Ridley Scott's main board artists too. Well, how could he be good then, right? And probably I can appreciate that. I gather you're meaning Shrey poses are almost never at the height of action. Yeah, absolutely. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Shrey is one of those people, man. I mean, he's got that. He's got a gift. He's a really exceptional artist, and it's amazing to me that his stuff underwent such an evolution. Which is to say, he was successful early on in his career drawing in, a little bit of his own style. Like the Shrey faces, I remember, were somewhat established. Like I could tell the difference between a Shrey face and a Jim Lee face, but he was very much a, Jim Lee influenced artist. And then all of a sudden he got that Mobius influence and it just shifted his work. And I do think that him painting and or doing values on those Wildstorm covers, being there for it. My friends, I think it was RB and other people were saying, have you seen his new covers? And I was like, well, I love his detailed ink stuff, but it's cool. And they were like, no, you got to see, he's doing washes now and he's doing, grayscale stuff. And that's when his stuff just went to this other place. I love that. He still has this like quirkiness to his style that I really love. In those early days, they're just great to see, And so when I see certain characters, like Rob's characters are a good example. Malin's characters too are a really good example of things that would really work well in the Travis Shrey style. I like that aspect of them. It's like I can see. I mean, gosh, what couldn't I see Shrey doing a drawing or a painting of? I mean, his stuff is so great. But I'm trying to think of what else. Like, because I could see him doing a Cyberfrog. Obviously, I could see him doing that. But there's a cartooniness to Cyberfrog that I think Dale Keown really gets. I mean, I just keep going down lists of characters, and I think the two leading, characters I think I could see him doing would be Rob stuff and Malin stuff. But somebody throw other stuff in the chat because I'm sure there's other things that someone like him could do. And as far as I'm concerned, I can see myself doing any number of those things because that's the stuff I like. I like monsters. I like action. at some point I was trying to think of, I don't have one though yet in my head. I haven't figured it out yet, but I was thinking about a Goblin Girl piece. Um, I actually can see myself doing a terror piece too for Terror in the Trenches. I can see that happening. That's got a look for me. Masquerade I've done, and I love Masquerade. Masquerade is great. I could do a Crimstone piece, and it's like, and that's all the stuff that I think about doing when I'm not working on, Nosfero, painting, werewolves and Nosferatu like vampires fighting, being, taken down by just the vampires. The werewolves are good. The werewolf is good, that character. But just painting those monsters, and then the Conan like hero that is Nosfero. That's the stuff that I enjoy. Obviously, I've done a Narwhal commissioned me to do a piece for his Nosferatu book. So it's just whatever's there. Paint Cecil, yeah. I mean, Sheree could do a great anything. I mean, he's so good, man. It was amazing to watch Sheree's work evolve. Antoine, you were absolutely right and impeccable on your insights as always. Paint Cecil, that was actually an idea I had. I actually did have a Cecil in my head. I was going to do an icon, like an old Masters, Renaissance icon of Cecil. I thought would be hilarious, but it would take a lot of time to do that fully. So, that's something I could do for a commission, but I can't imagine doing it just to do it at this point, just because I'm so busy with commissions and things like that right now. But this is fun. This is just a little bit more sketchy and scribbly. I actually did a Leonardo da Vinci, or a piece that has not been officially attributed to Da Vinci master copy. I've done a couple of Rembrandt master copies. I've done some Rembrandt graffiti art, which was fun. I did that stuff for a bit. I did a Vermeer graffiti piece too, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, let me see if I have those somewhere, and I'll show those to you. So, I'd always get annoyed at where is it? Figure Nature. I can't show you the figure paintings on my website because those will get you in trouble. Comic book, art books, design. Where do I have this stuff? Art books. There's that. Menu, home, about. Boy, I look like an idiot in that picture. Paintings, portrait, nature, exhibitions. Where did I have that? It's not under figure, is it? No, it's not under figure. All right. Silver screen, it is not under. Yeah, this is an item boring you guys to tears. All right, let me show you some. Let me show you something I can show you. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I love how I keep saying, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. All right. Here you go. Hey, Shant, I haven't heard you talk about Ladrone. Yeah, I like that stuff. Hold on a second. Let me get this too here. American Vampire was Sean Murphy's comic. I just looked it up, but I can see Travis Ray drawing a book like that. Oh, gotcha. Let's see here. Yeah, I haven't talked about that. Yeah, Ladrone's all right. I like that stuff. It's not bad. So let me do share screen, Chrome tab, and then we're going to grab this. Here you go, guys. So can you guys see this right here? So this is some of my other stuff. So this is me doing a painting of Humphrey Bogart that I did not long ago. The Creation of Adam featuring Cecil and Ethan would be a great commission. So this is a Humphrey Bogart piece that I did a while back. I don't know what year this was. That's him from African Queen. And then let's see what else we have here. Let's go to the next one. This is an open range painting I did. That's Bobby Duvall. That's Michael. Oh God, I can't believe I'm playing Michael Jeter. And that's Costner. It's not my best Costner, I got to be honest with you. Here's Denzel Washington from Book of Eli, and that's not the best photograph of it, so apologies for that. There's Creature from the Black Lagoon. This is all movie theme stuff. There's a Guillermo del Toro I did. There's the Woody Strode painting I did. And then let me see if I can find menu here. We'll go to figure. And this is a figure painting I did in gold. And I don't know if I can click to the next one without us. Well, it's going to do it anyway. We'll see if that stream gets struck. There you go. There's some of my figure paintings. So yeah, this is some of the stuff that I do. Yeah, this will get struck for sure now. But you never know. We'll see. We'll see if we get struck. But that's the thing for me when I'm painting. That's the stuff that I'm most driven about. Autoplay. Yeah, you're right. I know autoplay got me. You gotta love it. Let's see. I think I downloaded Humphrey Bogart to my inspiration folder a few years ago. Love the colors. Thank you, Antoine. Much love. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I thought Ladrone's Elephant Men was interesting. Yeah, I actually like that one too. Yeah. I thought that one was great. Yeah, it happens, guys. Booty happens. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed of it. But yeah, those I love painting and I love doing that kind of stuff. But like right now, man, it's like comics and illustration has been where it's at for me. And how can you go wrong with, having such cool characters like this in CG, guys? This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. I used to say it's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere, but we're coming up on 45 minutes till 5 in the morning where I am. So it literally is about to be 5 o'clock somewhere. But that's my hope, when I'm doing this stuff is that, that I can make this a very, Comicsgate centered, process when I'm doing this work, because I do think that there are so many cool original characters that are happening right now all around us. And any way that I can get the word out for whether it's, Painted Death or it's, Michael Bancroft's amazing book or it's Rob the Replicator's stuff. It's like, God, I want to get the word out, and by the way, Graveyard Shift is about to wrap up. And so that's another book. If I can just cut trailers for things and do that stuff in my copious amounts of free time, that's what it's about. To me, it's about, making a really cool and thriving indie scene. And Nosfero is a part of that for me. That's what I want to do. And I want to make monster books and vampire books and werewolf books and all the stuff that I think is cool, but much more in the Hammer horror kind of vein than, say, Underworld. Nothing against Underworld, but I love those designs. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there's so much room for every kind of book in what we're doing. And that's the stuff I want to make sure it happens, That's the stuff that I'm really interested in. So, like, having a character like this who's just got this really cool, powerful quality to it, and then having him standing on a bunch of, as I do in the sketch and as I'll have in the finish, having him stand on a bunch of destroyed sort of pseudo futuristic modern tanks. And this is a total Travis Charest influence and Mobius influence right there with that shattered column. I love that kind of stuff. But that's my goal for this, is to, and then just the fact that I get to illustrate a minigun is that's reason to celebrate. I don't know if you guys do this in the chat, but I love, let me see, this guy is painting so much great booty, but still no Cecil. Yeah, what's that about? But I really want to make sure that, let me see if I can get that to happen there. Just lost my train of thought. I got to remember what the hell I was saying. Oh, yeah. So having this character, standing on, tanks and having all of that sort of stuff happen and having the, the Apple Core columns that Jeff Darrow or, Travis would do in their illustration work. That's what this is about, man. Making it just feel like this character is all powerful. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Do any of you guys ever watch who do artwork or just in general for reference? If you don't do this, it's so worth it. Watching extreme slow motion footage of, things like a minigun firing. That's what I use for reference for this. And it is crazy to watch. I watched slow motion footage of a Tommy gun, which was really cool because I used to love drawing, guns and weaponry from that era, from the World War I and, Prohibition era. And man, is that stuff fun. And that's what I want to kind of get with this, Oh yeah, Warhammer meets Terminator. You're absolutely right. God, that's a great idea for an aesthetic too, by the way, isn't it? So, I mean, such a great, aesthetic blend. I see a lot of character-driven books in CG, which is fine, but I'd like to see more concept or plot-driven books. I think those elements will drive growth. Yeah, that's a really good point, That's a really good point. And let me see here. And Jeremy Burtz goes, no, I'm assuming you mean to watching slow motion footage of that kind of thing. It's really great for reference, especially in 4K or 1080p. And SDA goes, oh yeah. Yeah, I would. It's so. Which ones, as far as CG books, which ones would you say are the concept or plot driven books? Because I'd be curious to get your take on it. Because I'm trying to think. I think I know what you mean, but I don't want to assume that I know what you mean there. Let me see here. This, that, bring that over there. That over there. There we go. Yeah. I just love the aesthetic of big, creatures. It's so funny. My friend Zach, who when I was growing up used to paint Warhammer minis, and I love people who are good at that. They just amaze me. Is there anybody in the chat who knows how to paint Warhammer minis and has a magnifying glass? Because that stuff is amazing to me. I've seen a lot of people do that stuff online, and I've seen people who do model kit painting, and I'm always amazed by that. But yeah, that stuff is so cool to me. The weathering, things like that. It's just so cool. And Ellie says, I've got a couple of high concept books I'm going to release this year, hopefully. There you go. Nice. Yeah, see, it's if you build it, they will come. And I'm seeing that video I made for Ethan playing in my head. Oh, man. Focus. There we go. Actually, let me move this because it's auto-focusing on the white paper and it's making it impossible to see the artwork. I got to remind myself about that every now and again. So let's see here. And this will be kind of like a sketch level to it, but I have to kind of just, rough that in there. There we go. And do I want to move that over a little bit more? Yeah, we'll move that over because the aspect of this is it's going to have, because it's in perspective, it's going to have concentric circles anyway. So it works out well to kind of just build it out as I go. But I think I want to move it out, and I might at some point move it down. But for now, we'll just kind of temporarily put it in there. And then, let's see here, we'll build that back. Right in there. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for backing Nosfero. I really do appreciate it. It's great to see. It's great to see more people getting into it. Yeah, you guys are great. That's what allows us to, my wife and I and our family to kind of, in so many ways, just continue to keep thinking of cool things that we can do. And, this is a dream for us and we love it. Let me see here. Yeah, let me get people in here. High concept book release. Yes. No, for the gun thing. I just like the idea. Jerry Burtz, I like the idea of the no, just completely disconnected from anything else, just a general dropping in a no. Works well. Warhammer meets Terminator. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, cool. Just making sure I'm keeping up with these things. Yeah, I would love to. One of my favorite projects, I was talking about this on Michael Bancroft's show, is the Warhammer 40K fan film that was done. I just thought, wow, we have the ability, or they have the ability, but people with skill have the ability now to do things that would have been unheard of in terms of animation and to tackle genres like that. And I hope that we'll get more and more people like that in the crowdfunding scene, doing original stuff. That could be really cool to see. Here we go. Just letting those lines, I mean, I'm getting a little bit, thinner with them right in there. And that's the fun thing. Yeah, Jerry Burtz is laughing. Yeah. Gotta love it. A disembodied no. It just gets it done. And so I try to because I have these brushes that I can get a decent point on until I murder them by scrubbing too much with them. But I do enjoy being able to kind of really get that detail in there. Because it's a little bit like it's a weird combination of painting and then also a little bit of that old school comic book inking from when I used to do pen and ink stuff a lot more. I mean, I still can, but I don't. It's not really where I'm at right now because I just love the idea of of doing the painting. Just like a lot of digital artists now are starting to do, their full work, like full color all the way through to finish. I mean, it's an option now to really paint with digital. It wasn't the case when I was, trying to break into comics and started my career as an illustrator. They would always tell you, don't do gray pencil stuff. You can't do anything with it in comics. And then I forget the name of the artist that Brian Haberlin got that was doing, and I think there was another guy named Jordan Raskin, if I'm not mistaken, but they started doing some from pencils to color stuff, which it is possible. Certainly possible with Copic markers. Let me see what I got here. Let me move my glasses here. Hey, what's up, Admiral Wackass? What are you doing up at this crazy hour? Let's see here. Hey to you, my friend. For example, the Lucent is concept driven, which gives people something. My gosh, yeah. Yeah, love that. You know how I feel about that book, Antoine. You know I love it. I am so excited for Painted Death, and it's very, very cool. Let me see. Oh God, sorry, my reading comp at this hour is not ideal. Which gives people something to talk about. It'd be interesting to seeing more of that and fewer homage to the 90s books, but that's just me. Hey, listen, man, that's what makes Comicsgate cool, is that anytime somebody puts out something like that, a statement like that, it may fall on the ears of a creator who's thinking about doing that book, or somebody who's thinking about adding more of that element to it. So yeah, absolutely. Do art. Yes, I agree with Antoine. There you go. Jordan Raskin did a great Ripclaw one-shot, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. I remember seeing the art advertisements for that, and it was jaw-dropping when they showed that stuff. What beautiful work he did with Ripclaw. That was some cool stuff. Hey, Admiral. What's up, Admiral? Absolutely. Everybody's saying hello, hello. Teflon Ron saying hail. And then I'm working on a scratch-built model right now. Very cool. Been doing it for the past few years, transitioning from concept to cardboard to ruled drawing to plastic styrene. Very fragile, long process. I can imagine SDA. I like to look. There's I don't know if he's German or Russian, or I'm not sure where he's from, but there's a guy who does aviation model kit builds, and they look like life-sized planes. They're just incredible. Love that stuff. What's up? Everybody's saying hello. Let's see here. We'll tell what it tell what it is when it's done and painted. Very cool. We look forward to it. Wagas! Yeah, that's right. Everybody's saying hello. Hey, Teflon Ron. Hey, SDA. That's right, gang. But yeah, I mean, like when I was working on this character, it was funny. I did something kind of dumb. I gave this character accidentally. I wasn't paying attention, and I was just kind of in a groove. I gave this character these kind of like H.R. Geiger or Giger, depending on how it's pronounced, kind of alien claw toes. And then I was like looking back at it, and I was like, oh no, he's got like toes. And so I wanted to make sure that I stayed true to that, because with a little touch of kind of like a RoboCop, foot, thing. I don't know why I love to do that, but it is what it is. But I really wanted to make sure that I didn't lose that quality of this character, because it is it's a very cool character. It's got a lot of great, possibilities. Got to zoom this way out. Sorry, guys. There we go. That's a little better. It's got a lot of great possibilities to it. Nice SDA. There you go. Antoine Raskin had a very unique sensibility. You're right. The angels he would draw characters from was something special. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The angles. Oh, Antoine. I'm going to work on my reading. I promise, my friend. Raskin had a very unique sensibility. The angles he would draw characters from was something special. Yeah, it was. And what a glorious time in comics, right? Yeah, thanks, Jer. Absolutely. Yeah, everybody's saying hello, hello. Let's see here. Comics Legend. I think what is great is that if we aren't seeing comics we want to see, then we have the possibility to create them. Yeah. Create what we want and isn't being put out there right now. Yeah, and that is a lot of stuff, if you think about it, that isn't being put out here right now, because there are so many arbitrary rules governing what people will allow themselves to create and will allow themselves to publish. And it's kind of a magical sort of, window for us right now, having that as an option to be able to go out there and do this stuff. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I definitely think that it is inspiring, the cream of, creators to kind of really push themselves to make great stuff. And it's something that, the manga industry does really well. They don't hold people at bay creatively. It's just a sell or die kind of environment and make cool stuff. And I think that that's something that has long since, through arbitrary stifling of merit stuff for reasons like the image creators going off and founding their own company, they didn't let creators get too good, and that stifles the industry. It's the more competitive it is, and the more that you tell people sales are what's going to count on this, the more you're going to see more inspiring stuff. So that's a very good point. Do Robo have it more of an impact? Oh, do you mean like having like there be more? I think I know what you're saying. Having it look like it's doing more damage as it hits. Do RoboFoot. I think I know what you mean, but get me there. help me get some clarity there on that one, and I will make it happen. I promise to make it happen. Let's see. What the hell did I paint there? Is a very logical question to have at this point. Okay, so I think I had an angle line coming down like that right there in the sketch. I'll be damned if I know what it is, but that's how it works. I love hearing everybody where I'm living. All of the early commuters are driving by now. Their traffic is quiet. I have my window open, and then once I've been streaming to the point to where it's morning here, we're at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, let me see here. RB, I was at Kinokuniya the bookstore the other day, and I saw a manga about a middle-aged guy who owned a bunch of cats. That was it, and it looked amazing. Yeah, that's the options that you have. You're right. Comics Legend, I agree wholeheartedly. However, I think that a lot of guys in this space are playing it safe and not showing their unique vision. Boy, I will tell you this. I wish I knew. I wish I knew how to, and sometimes I wish I knew how to do whatever that is, whatever playing it safe is, because I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I am, who knows, but when I think about some of the stuff I do, like I just look at it and go, why am I'm like, and thank you guys, by the way, for supporting it. I'm like going, you guys are supporting a gouache comic book inspired by Hammer horror films. And I'm just like, oh my goodness gracious. But, I think that the interesting thing about Comicsgate that I really like is that once you step into the fray, I mean, it's like the environment is both very driven and very, and maybe Human agrees, but it's instant risk when you're in here. It's instant risk. It's like, I think that the thing is that I think there's this adjustment period of coming into this space, I should have, but I'm guilty of that very thing. Yeah, Antoine, you strike me as a, I don't know, I could be wrong. So Antoine, here's a question. Answer this in the chat if you want to. You're not required to. But are you somebody that has ever been described in your life as still waters run deep? Just let me know. Because you strike me as the kind of person who is incredibly introspective, as much as you are looking out at other things and having thoughts about them, that you're internalizing a lot of that stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's I think that we all kind of, we all have standards that we want to hold ourselves to. And we all have, things that we want to see. And at the end of the day, we just got to step up to the plate, take a swing, man. And it really is. I mean, we're going to do our best, but there's so much involved in it, that it's crazy. Meg's Doodle says, honestly, the manga with the most absurd premises tend to typically be the best underrated gems. Yeah, I was looking at, I don't know much about Demon Slayer. I'm hearing about it, obviously, but I was really fascinated by the level of success that got to. I mean, it might just be one of those pop culture phenomenon that just goes crazy, but I think that, I find a lot of the ideas of various comics and manga to be completely insane. And then they make a total, they become a total pop culture hit that everybody gets. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes to mind. Even The Rocketeer comes to mind for me as a book that you'd think, what's the concept of it? Betty Page, 1938. And, when a guy finds a rocket pack and references to Doc Savage in The Shadow, it's like, what? And that becomes a smash hit. I don't know. I don't know what it is about comics. I don't know what it is about this art form, but it does seem like, I mean, shoot, the popular and successful bande dessinée comic of all time, which is Tintin, is about a Belgium reporter going around having adventures. I mean, I don't think that's pretty, hardcore. Yeah, watch those Demon Slayer anime. Yeah, I got to get to those. I'm sure I'll hear about it. Still Waters, maybe. A Tepid Pool. I knew Antoine was going to come back with something great, man. I knew you were going to come back with something great. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing I think about, comics definitely has its share of lunatics, and that's great. Like, seriously, like, I love Brian Pulido. I love the way he comes at things. I love Todd McFarlane. I love the way that he comes at things. But what's really interesting is there are a lot of, like, people like Travis Charest, even people like Mobius. There are a lot of really introspective creators, writers, and interestingly enough, for me, a lot of comic shop owners that were just back in the day that would just have these really deep philosophical conversations with you about comics. And I love that. What is up, Geek Hero Bubba? Dropping in to say hi, but work is being demanding. Understood. I'll catch you all later. Absolutely, my friend. Take care, and thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it. Absolutely appreciate it. SDA Superman, a man flying? Nah, absolutely right. Lord Crackhead 33. Pal, that's cracking up. I'm guessing that's at Antoine's thing there. I've seen clips of the anime, and it looks gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen clips of that, and then I'm trying to think of some of the early season stuff I saw of from Attack on Titan. I thought the animation and the tech was beautiful. The anime that I got into in college that I was just blown away by the tech. Funny enough, this might be calling up memories of that. Was an anime I don't know if any of you guys might have seen called Bubblegum Crisis, where they had these, funny enough, these robot monster things called boomers, and they were just these crazy, like they would rip out of skin and attack, and they were biological and had really crazy designs. But I was super into that, super into Bubblegum Crisis when I was a kid. I had all those on VHS in my college dorm room because I thought they looked really good. Yeah, Bubblegum Crisis, nice. Yeah. So we do have some people who know it. Attack on Titan isn't particularly well written, lots of manga tropes. It's a giant human-eating humanoids that sells it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very Goya. Yeah, to be fair, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is really out there. Yeah, it is absolutely out there. Yeah. Bubblegum Crisis just had tech that looked like it worked, and I remember being super impressed by that. I was like, wow, how'd they make those suits? Robotech had that for me too. Loved, or Macross, I should say, had that for me. I loved all of it, but I loved Mospeada. It was really great. I loved Stick as a character in the Cyclone. If they ever make a reasonably cost-effective, although I think they just did, Scott Bernard or Stick Cyclone thing, I want to get it. It's one of my holy grail figures because I think it's such a beautiful design. Loved those bikes. So good. And yeah, I want to see us do like the craziest stuff in CG we can manage. And one of the things that's cool is Rob sent me photo reference. Bubblegum Crisis, Crash, and 2040. There you go. Oh yeah, Pat Labor, Appleseed. Antoine saying maybe human. Yeah, it was, but it made perfect sense at the time. The Teen Titans, the X-Men, and Miller's Daredevil were all the rage in those days. No, you're totally right, man. That was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was the whole seed of it all, man. It was cool. It was very cool stuff. And yeah, let me see here. Did your VHS tapes have had the Burning Manga logo promotion? It might. Yeah, I think it did. I know that my Ninja Scroll did. Did have that. That's another one too. That's another project like thing I could see happening in CG is Ninja Scroll. I used to have ideas of doing something like that. That was like had that level of action. I mean, Nosfero has some of that, but not the not like things like the the ninja stars hitting the trees and shredding them to pieces. That was some cool stuff, man. And some really crazy gore in that too. But the character designs were cool. The character had a beehive in his back. That was some crazy stuff. And then, of course, we watched Vampire Hunter D as well, which had a cool werewolf in it. A mix of Terminator and Blade Runner. Yeah, You're absolutely right. Yeah, Ninja Scroll. Yeah, I remember seeing the action in that, and then they did that studio, which was Madhouse Animation, I think. They did a Matrix Reloaded that was very Ninja Scroll, samurai fight and all that stuff inside of the Matrix, and I love that animation. I love a little bit of 2.5D animation too, as well, I must say. But I mean, my tastes and things are far-reaching. I like a lot of different kinds of art, you know. Yeah, AD, absolutely. Well, a second. Antoine said Rob aspired to incorporate some Ninja Scroll action in his book. Very cool. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, AD Files. Gotcha. Dominion Tank Police. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Ninja Scroll was R-rated and then some. Absolutely right. Animatrix. Thank you, Antoine. You're absolutely right. Yeah, the Animatrix had that stuff. Yeah, very, very much so. But I liked that, and I liked God, what was other stuff I liked? I always liked tech. I loved Rob Bottin's designs for RoboCop, obviously. I love Stan Winston's stuff that he did for the Terminator. But all that stuff, there was great creature and character design stuff in the 80s and into the 90s for sure. And I'd love to see us, you know, at the very least, bring some of that stuff back. You know, some of the cool characters, the cool creation. And you're right, you know, Antoine, as far as like stuff that's concept driven too as well. Because I think that's an important element of longevity, but it's also an important element of making sure that there's just a lot of options for people. Like one of my favorite books that is not a book that I could imagine myself illustrating, but I just love is Tiger Blue. Love Tiger Blue, man. I think it looks so cool. I back that, and I just love it. Let's see here. I think so. The Animatrix where they fight on top of the Edo Castle. Yeah, of an Edo Castle. You're absolutely right. That one where there's that like long zoom out to the character in the foreground holding the sword. That's the kind of stuff I love to see in comics. That kind of perspective is really cool. Yeah, there is a character in Rob's book that uses a boomerang sword like Tasai from Ninja Scroll. Yeah, that thing is terrifying. I loved that. When he rears back and throws that thing and just the scale of it when it hits the ground, I love stuff like that. Why I'm so hung up on concept-driven material is because, sorry, Antoine, my glasses need to be cleaned. I can't see a thing. Sorry, guys. Brief break. I'm trying to read, but because I'm a moron, I keep touching my stupid lenses accidentally, and it makes it hard for me to see. That and my eyes could be potentially getting tired. Go figure. 5 a.m. Let me see here. Did I get anything clear on that? There we go, Antoine. Why I'm so hung up on concept-driven material is because I think that's how word of mouth interest. I got you. Interest develops. That's very, very right. It's very true. Yeah, so cool. And I think you're talking about the Ninja Scroll thing. Yeah, when his head hits the blade and then slides down, I was like, that could work in a comic so well. Oh yeah, Cyber City. Yeah, wish me luck on pronouncing that. 808. That's what I'll say. Yeah, like there's so much good stuff out there. Oh wait, hold on a second. Animatrix or at Punished Fabio, the Animatrix had so much promise that it was never realized in the later films. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, I mean, what was it called? The one that had the part 1 and 2. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. I must be so tired. But that one had that to me was even better than some of the Matrix sequels. It was so good. Yeah, that zoom out was the same as the gun scene before the infiltration of the Metacortex building in the Matrix. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Cyber City is great too. Yeah. And there's a kaiju book, and then there's a kaiju anime, and then there's a couple of other ones. I'm trying to think of what they're called. But there's some really great genre stuff and some great fighting manga too. But I want to see us do action. And Tiger Blue to me has that kind of action. Matt Fowler and Jose Garcia, I think, are making a really special book, and I'm excited to see it. So yeah, if anybody hasn't backed Tiger Blue, give it a look. I think it might be something that's worth taking a look at. And that one actually has a really interesting concept: the idea of blending the island of Dr. Moreau into it, which I thought was a kind of very much Fowlerism, or I should say. And I think that's a really cool concept. I really want to see it. Weeps. There you go. Someone has to say it. The Animatrix was so good, so much better than Matrix 4. Well, yeah, you can't you can't fall out of the basement, can you? That's again one of my favorite expressions I use quite often. If you know me, you've heard me say you can't fall out of the basement as a thing. It's one of my favorite Southernisms. There we go. I love how the character design on Goliath has these little discs that look like they might be for articulation, but they also just give it this kind of really gnarly sort of quality. I love that word, which I think is just so fun about this stuff. Yeah, gotta say it. It is what it is. Look, I think that we have the opportunity to create American entertainment that is remotely interesting to people in other countries, because I'm interested in seeing stuff from other places, and I think other people are too. But what they don't want to see is seeing us regurgitate a shit version of what they're already doing so well over there. And it's something that I think a lot of American artists have lost sight of, that no one is coming to us to see themselves parroted back at themselves. They want to see us kind of play that ping pong game of artistic influence. And so I think we've got a real shot at doing that. Like the Iron Man discs. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. RB, what kind of white pen is that? This is a Sakura Jelly Roll pen, and these are fantastic. It's a Sakura Jelly Roll. This is a number 5, and I cannot swear highly enough on these things. They're just a great way of working. I can work over paint with them, and then I also, even though it's not a perfect process, I'm sure it can be easily scratched off. But what can't be when it comes to art? But I can also sort of work over them and kind of make them use them as sort of like an underpainting. So if I want to, take something and put a really decisive contrast moment in, and then wash back over it. I just realized I covered up when I did that. But that's the thing that I'm able to do with the white gel pen. So that disc, I went in and put some details on it and then moved it. I'm expecting thrusters to shoot out of his calves. Yeah, absolutely. Well, one can hope. We can put in a request to Rob and see if Rob can make that happen for us. But I just want to do. There was for those of you guys who know, and I know a lot of you guys mentioned it before, the first Wildcats relaunch they did I think it was at DC, but I'm not sure, where Travis came back and was doing interiors for a bit. The first issue had this tank thing that turned into a robot or whatever, and it just had such great, cool tech stuff coming out of it. And what I love about that kind of stuff is Travis knows how to hit a highlight and to, really give something that dimensional quality to it. So whenever I'm doing things, gosh darn it, I'm going to move my camera because I keep drawing where you guys can't see. And it's really annoying me. It's my fault. Sorry about that, guys. Swifting thrusters. Why do you like them over white gouache? I don't know. Just every now and again. The same reason I use black pens. Sometimes I want to draw a little bit more than paint. So just personal preference, what I'm feeling at the moment. Matrix 4 was just a Sense8 series production turned into a movie. You can find the number hidden in many parts of the movie. Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. Instead, gotcha. I'll have to pick up one of those pens. Yeah, they're very cool. SDA, thumbs up. Jeremy, are you working on a comic? There you have it. No SDA, but yeah, they're really fun pens to draw with. And so like this right here is an example of the kind of thing I like to play around with, where I'll drop a highlight on one of the ellipses that makes up this tech, and then I'll just sort of put like some white gouache in there, and then I'll just sort of blend it out, and it will shift a little bit darker, but it'll start to give you the sense of that other plane. And then I can go over here and do the same thing, and maybe even drop in a thin line in there, and that's going to give us that sort of really nice structure that we're looking for in there, in with that technology. And there's more to the detailing of this than that, but you guys get what I mean. You see how that leg is starting to come together, have a little bit of a sheen to it, and the character's starting to have some more power to it. That's what I want. Like, I want to make sure that I'm when I'm doing Nosfero, or I'm doing these sketches, or I'm doing these pinups, let me call BS on the fact that when people come into CG, their skills slip. We've got some of the best talent. We've got some of the most skilled artists, and we've got people doing some of the coolest stuff that you're going to be able to see in comics. This is Nosfero the Crypt Walker. This is the stuff that I'm doing here. This is the gouache work. This is the detail of what I'm doing. This is a Necronomicon. This is a ring from a mummy god named Amun al-Hazared. This is a giant dog demon that's flying away as they escape a transforming vampire hell beast. This right here is a fully painted double page spread of a world of tombstones, vampires, magic, sexiness, dare I say, rescues, eyes, power, all this cool stuff, pinup fun. And this is what you're getting with Nosfero. And I don't think that this looks like we're slipping by any stretch. Do you guys? I don't think so. I don't think we're slipping at all. I think this is where the talent is. This is where the skill is. And I know how good I am at doing this stuff because I worked my tail off for 45 years to get here. You're getting a book that is a result of 45 years of experience painting, drawing, designing, creating, and trying to make things that can't happen anywhere outside of CG because it's so hard to come in and get funded and speak directly to the audience before this technology. And so when I sit down to do a sketch of one of my fellow artists and creators in this outfit, as I like to call it, I'm going to deliver the goods, and I'm going to make something that is cool and worthy of their creativity and all the projects we're doing, guys. That's ultimately what it's about, is like fire tonight. That is what we're doing here. Yeah, not slipping. You're just that's right. Yeah, I only slip on the ice here in New England. That's about the most slipping I do. But this is the thing I want you guys, and trying to slip punches every now and again. But this is the thing I want us to be thinking about as we're working, guys, as we're doing all this stuff. We can make a huge difference in the pop culture landscape. These things start small and they grow. And they start at a desk. They start with a couple of people in some cases. Sometimes it's one person working on something. Sometimes it's a couple of people. Sometimes it's people brainstorming. But it's groups like this where people say, where were you when? Where did you back this book when? That makes this stuff happen. And when I look at the designs of this character and the power of this character, this is me sort of riffing off of something that one of my fellow creators and one of my friends in CG, Rob Arnold, is doing. And I've known Rob now for, a very short time, but I feel like I've when we talk or when we're doing art stuff, I feel like I've known him forever. And that's the cool stuff. And it's the same thing with the chat, guys. It's the same thing with the chat. This is the coolest comic book shop / comic convention / comic book studio you could ever find. And I love it. You slip out of consciousness at 5 a.m. You ain't kidding, man. Definitely starting to slip out of consciousness. So, guys, let me just say this to you. Thank you so much for hanging in there. It's 5 a.m. here. I got to start winding my brain down so I can get to sleep before the sun comes up, which is highly unlikely because it takes me about an hour to sort of wind down. But I want to tell you guys this. Thank you for backing Nosfero. To my new backers, thank you for backing it. It's a big deal to us. And we're really proud of this book, and I'm really proud of the work I'm doing on it. And I'm really proud that if I have, fans like you guys supporting it, backing it, being there for us. I thank God for it every single day. I promise that I'm going to, make sure that I am, putting out artwork that inspires more people to come into this little corner of independent comics that's becoming a big corner and a very, very successful corner of creativity and very cool fans. And yeah, Jason Black, hey, thank you so much for being in here and checking out the stream, guys. And I'm going to keep working on this piece, you know, in future streams and keep working on Nosfero. I'm going to have a new trailer for you guys soon. Thank you guys for being here. Everybody have a great night. Bow to all of you in the chat. Hail to all of you in the chat. You guys are awesome. Yeah, time to bow. Absolutely right. And it is coming for you guys soon, I promise. Take care, everybody. I will see you soon. And hail the chat. Yeah, Sean delivers. Oh, thank you, brother. I love you. Mwah. Sean delivers 200% all the time. He's proven it. He has twins. You're absolutely right. Those are the 2 best characters I've ever made. Let's see here. Great show. Thank you. Cheers, Sean. Thank you so much, Antoine. I appreciate it. Duart, bow to you, my friend. Take care, everybody. I will see you soon. Yeah, I love those 2 twins, those little baby bears upstairs. Yeah, sleep, man. I will. Good night, y'all. All right, guys, here you go. And let's make this stuff happen.
Here's a little something for you busters. Yeah.
You're not even learning anything on the street.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid, son?
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say to you, boy?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's up with that?
Look at me, damn it!
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack. What's up with
You
that?
smoke crack, don't you?
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
Look at me, boy!
Hey to
You
you,
smoke crack, don't you?
don't even smoke crack.
You know what that does to you? Huh? You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack.
Go on and do it expeditiously.
What's up with that?
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Don't even smoke crack.
No guts, huh? Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy, so keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now.